you that this is a release that I have needed. I feel like this is a great way to send out the year. Obviously, 5 Seconds of Summer is celebrating their 10-year anniversary, which is kind of crazy. I'm pretty new, like within the last couple of years of listening to 5 Seconds of Summer. Like I'm pretty new to the space, but I would have never guessed that it's already been 10 years. And I know they've done so much, but it seems like time goes by so fast, especially when you're a group like this, consistently putting out amazing records. And they have like made their presence known every single possible way since the start. And just to see that hype continue to roll, to see them grow up, continue to evolve, that's really incredible to me. So I've been a little bit off social media. It's been wonderful for my mental health, but I've been a little bit out of the loop when it comes to some of the new releases. And I just got to say that like when I saw that this was happening, it was just like such an uplifting fucking moment because I knew we were going to get something incredible. So I'm really excited. 2011, I was 21. I was turning 21. It was a long time ago. It seems like, this is 2011, the official visualizer. I thought there might be a music video for it. Maybe there will be. And so when that comes out, we'll obviously do that as well, but I definitely want to check this out. So before we get into today's video, I'm just going to ask you guys to go check out Patreon. Everything I'm able to do is because of Patreon. I do a lot of exclusive content over there, and there's a lot of 5 Seconds of Summer stuff over there that I do as like long form content. So like the How Did We End Up Here movie, we've done a watch party to that. Behind the album of Youngblood, we have done Carpool Karaoke and all kinds of, videos that are more like that, less about just the music, sometimes just about having a good time and watching these videos. So if you're interested in any of those things, I really appreciate you guys. Link is in the description for Patreon. I'm excited to dive into this. Really excited to see what they do with the sound of this, because this is also going to be a great opportunity for us to hear what we're probably going to be getting from the new album. Maybe. Okay, let's go. I love the checkerboard, like on brand. Okay, just those lines alone, before I go any further, I think we're going to get two things out of this right away. Not only are we going to be talking about the growth of the band, obviously, and kind of like, that span of time, but like, especially for me, like this is nostalgic in a whole different way. Just some of the lines that he just said, making you think about how like essentially the world was like endless possibilities. Like you could do anything. You kind of just went with the flow, with the vibe. You didn't really think about the consequences and all those things. It's kind of like the beauty of being young and having those decision-making moments where you can just kind of like live on the vibe.
I miss the days before I second guess my life.
Oh, just like that.
I'm always asking why. I remember what it's like. Maybe it's just too late for the old me. Maybe there's no point in holding on to something closely. I should let it go. I should let it fade. Cause nothing lasts forever, and nothing stays the same.
This whole section right here, and then ending with nothing lasts forever, nothing stays the same. There's so much introspection kind of going on in here, just kind of like addressing the idea of growing and getting older and kind of like the challenges that come with that. And then as you end up in the later stages in life, you kind of going back, you're like, did I make, decisions that I can feel good about, or did I do things? Did I follow my heart? Did I make decisions that kind of like nurtured my spirit? These are things that you definitely play that game when you are having kind of these moments in your head. And of course, this is exactly what I expected lyrically from them, because, they get it.
I should let it fade, cause nothing lasts forever, and nothing stays the same. Why do we complicate it? Why do we get so jaded? Can we just go back to 2011? Why do we ruin our dreams? Why do we sabotage things? Can we just go back to 2011?
Why do we ruin things? Why do we sabotage things? Can we just go back to 2011? This is, again, I know a lot of you guys can relate to this, and I know some of you guys maybe aren't at the age yet where you really have to deal with this, but there is a very real conversation that you have with yourself as you get older and you look at success, or you look at the things that you've accomplished in your life, or even the challenges that you're facing, and you think like, man, things were just so simple when I was like just full of dreams and wide-eyed and hopeful and optimistic, you know, kind of before all these other things happened in this last 10 years that brought me to this point. And even though, you know, you've grown as a person, you've done all these things, you still think back to that time when there was this level of just uncertainty, but at the same time, like you were just looking forward to everything. And you weren't so much dealing with the consistent problems that you might have as those 10 years go on and you have to think back. Yes.
We're all nervous wrecks. That's the thing about regret.
Oh, when we can live outside of our heads. Fuck. So goddamn good.
Nervous wrecks. That's the thing about regret. We used to talk about our lives and all the things we didn't have. We
Daddy!
fantasized about the future, but now we dream about the past.
Dude, Michael Clifford, literally give us MC1 now.
The future, but now we dream about the past. Maybe it's just too late for the old me. Maybe there's no point in holding on to something closely. I should let it go. I should let it fade. There's nothing lasts forever. And nothing stays the same. Why do we complicate it?
Yes.
Why do we get so jaded? Can we just go back to 2011? Can we go back? Why do we ruin our dreams? Why do we stop?
Can I just say, even in the production, so with some of the parts of the instrumental in here, I was a little bit nervous because it was giving me those moments where I feel like I don't get to hear the instrumental as much. There's a little bit of production on it, and don't get me wrong, I love that sound, but because I haven't like heard them do a new track in a while, I was like, oh man, am I gonna hear like Ashton's drumming? Like, am I really gonna get that sound? And even though there was a little bit of those like studio produced moments that kind of help with that pop rock sound, and again, I'm a fan of it, but I'm really glad to also hear a good mix where we're also getting some pretty solid drumming from Ashton here. Like, I think that's very important, especially for this band, because especially with the drums, I feel like it is just so like like a unique characteristic of their sound.
Can we just go back to 2011? Can we go back? Why do we ruin our dreams? Why do we sabotage things? Can we just go back to 2011? To 2011. Back to the days when the days were better.
Yes.
Back to the days when the days were better.
I love that you can learn these lyrics so fast.
Back to the days when the days were better.
Those palm muted guitars right there.
Days when the days were better.
Oh, fuck yeah. Starting that section over. 5 Seconds of Summer. You know what? Despite all of the growth they've had, you know, all the experimentation they've done, all of the musical influences that they've kind of like hyped on and moved forward with, despite all of those things, they always manage to keep that personality of theirs in their music. And you hear it right here, and it's so good.
Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days when the days were better. Back to the days the days are better.
This is a great sound from them. This is, yes. I've been talking about looking forward to what we were going to get in the new album. And obviously, like, I don't know if this is going to be on the album or if they're doing this strictly for their like 10-year celebration, but I do think it'll make the album, hopefully. Either way, I think what we get here is a really great chance at kind of like seeing what that sound and hearing what that sound is going to be like. I got to say it right away. I'm going to end on lyrics because I actually think lyrically this is very strong, even though there is, you know, simplicity in the amount, like the word count, right? I feel like sometimes people get too hung up on that. There's nothing wrong with not having verses that are 45,000 words. Like, the thing about pop punk that's really cool to me is that you can say a lot without having to say a ton of words. So just keep that in your mind for a second. Okay. Lyrically, why am I doing that? I literally just said I was going to finish with lyrics. I'm not going to do it. It's too important. We're starting with the vocals. You can tell that they have been working and grinding. One thing that really stuck out to me, Michael Clifford. I'm always going to say Daddy sticks out to me. But the reason I say that is because there is this kind of like idea that we're possibly getting Michael Clifford 1. I, of course, want that desperately, but you kind of heard him go off in this a little bit, right? Like, you can tell that he's been working on his vocals, and I've always loved the tone of his voice anyways, but there definitely felt like there was even more control over it now. So I think MC1 might actually be happening, but either way, just that talent alone that he's going to be bringing into the new album is going to be so sick, obviously. Okay. I love sonically the sound of this track. Not only just with these vocal trade-offs that they had, there were moments where you had like these harmonies, you had these different moments where you'd start with this higher range and then you'd get into this more aggressive vocal, bring a little bit of rasp in it, give it a little bit of that edgier sound. And I think that works so well for their style of pop rock. I feel like sometimes pop rock can feel either a little bit slow or a little bit like too stadium-ish, meaning like I could just picture it being played in a stadium, and like I love those things. But one of my favorite things about 5 Seconds of Summer is that essence of pop punk that they've always had, because it's kind of how like what they started out doing. You can hear it all over this track. You know, guitars, those super like heavily palm muted guitars, obviously Ashton's drums, like those things are so prevalent. And what it does is it takes what would be just a pop rock track and adds a little bit of flavor, again, a little bit of personality, something that I look forward to from this band. And you hear it here. I can't wait to see either an official video or a live performance of this or something, because I, you know, really get the dynamics of that. Sometimes a visualizer or you know, you don't really get the whole picture. Like, you want to see the band making this happen. This song lyrically, I feel really, it's just such a great representation of, you know, what it's like growing up, what it's like getting older, whether, you know, 10 years in a business you're doing or just growing 10 years, being 10 years with your best friends, all those things. Like, if I look back to 2011, I was turning 21. Okay. At that time, I still felt really wide-eyed, you know, like I'm like really looking forward to what might be. Although, you know, some of my dreams had been crushed a little bit around this time, you know, I still had that like optimistic look. You know, I moved to Las Vegas by myself. Like, I was doing all this stuff. And I think back, I think to like 10 years later, like now, and my life's fucking awesome. But there are days when you start to think back, oh man, I wonder if I would have done this, what would have happened? Or, oh man, I remember whenever the first time I did this and it felt so great, now I don't even do it. Like, you start thinking about, you know, kind of little things like that. And on a bigger scale, the way they talk about it here, because you can take this as literally them and their band, but you can also take this in life. They're saying like, in 2011, we were hopeful. We had the world ahead of us. We were, dreaming about what the future was going to look like. We were taking every opportunity that we could for all these different situations. But now we're like living in this sort of regretful state. We're like waking up in the morning, you know, kind of wishing we were back then. You know, our dreams of the future are now just dreams of the past. And I think this is totally normal. I think that, you know, that nostalgia factor is very real. I think that nostalgia can be a very positive thing, but it can also have its negativity, because once you start living in the past, you forget about the current, and then the future comes really quick. And then before you know it, life is over. And what I love here is that it's just like this very real conversation of all the success in the world doesn't take away from the fact that you're still gonna have those feelings. And 5 Seconds of Summer got a whole lot of feelings, and I love that about them. Overall, I'm so glad to hear this track. I think that some of the things I've been really looking forward to hearing from this new era came to life right away, especially when it came to those instrumentals. I'm really thinking of, speaking of 2011 and prior, I hear a lot of like, I don't know if you guys listen to A Day to Remember. I haven't heard like the most recent couple of albums, but I was really into them from like 2006 to like 2013, 2014. And I'm hearing a lot instrumentally that reminds me of that, which is really cool because, like, you know, A Day to Remember is big, 5 6 Summer is significantly bigger. And for them to be having that same sort of sound makes me think that we're going to get even more of that from other bands, because obviously every band that is successful like this is inspiring somebody out there to go out and make the band that they want. So I love this band. You guys know that. I will be supporting the fuck out of whatever release comes out. If we get the album, you name it, I'm ready for it, especially Michael Clifford 1. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know you haven't seen a lot of me. I was doing some personal shit. I was not being very good to myself, and I am fixing that, because fuck that. Because fuck that. Every single day, I got a chance to be great and to do something great, and I'm gonna start doing that because it's what I want to do. I love you guys way too much to not fucking be here every day. Fucking enjoy my life, you know what I mean? So I love you. Check out Patreon if you want to help support the channel. Let me know in the comment section what you guys thought of this track and what you guys think the new sound is going to be like now that you've heard this. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.